Hello, we are back to playing the Doomcore Trilogy, and currently we are on map 19, which is called Mountain Stronghold. So this map obviously is one of the biggest maps in Doomcore, and actually this starting area was cut out for the original release, because I wasn't really sure just how to handle all these very large mountainous areas that you begin in, and I switched the player start area to starting somewhere in the caves that lead up to the fortress. But yeah, so I brought this area back for better or worse. As you can see, it's just kind of a lot of distant monsters and mostly all the same rock textures, so there's not a whole lot special about it, but I figured I'd just kind of keep it true to the original idea or vision of the map. So I figured that would be an interesting thing to do for at least making it a little bit different for this release for both the Trilogy and Delta releases. But yeah, like I said, it was just kind of tricky to figure out how to manage these very large open areas for Vanilla Doom 2, so it is a little bit silly with some of these demons just kind of sitting on the ledges. I have a ton of rockets I guess I could use. Obviously Doomcore, if you're playing continuously or otherwise, I feel like it does kind of have a lot of ammunition throughout. But knowing me, I just have a lot of fun with it. I don't really get that hung up on having too much ammo, unless it just kind of makes maps way too easy. I don't think there's anything down here. I can't remember if this used to be a permanent death pit originally, and I might have changed it. But it seems a little bit silly to have something like that this early on. But yeah, this area especially is really open, so just wasn't something I was sure how to handle. But when I did bring this area back, at least for the Delta release, I pretty much just created a huge cliff to obstruct all the views. But yeah, this was the original, well, not the original starting area for this map, but for the eventual vanilla release, the original vanilla release. And of course this next area with the fortress had a switch puzzle originally that I just wasn't really fond of. So that was something that I felt needed some changing, at least since I had a chance to change a few things here and there for this re-release. So part of the motivation of releasing this was just kind of going back and addressing those places or areas where I felt like I just wasn't really fond of some of the decisions I made at the time. So I figured it would be a good opportunity to kind of play around with it and make it something a little bit more likable for myself and maybe for others. But yeah, there are probably some bigger parts to that, likely around episode 3. But we'll get to that when eventually we get to the map 25 maps, or map 25, 26, and 27 map slots. The good old chain gunners are back. Getting back for the Christmas family get-together. But yeah, usually, or originally I should say, it was this switch and a bunch of other switches opening up, and you just had to slowly figure out what the right combination was. But now it's just a simple door. I think I walk over here and make these guys teleport. Yeah, there were also some false switches that would make monsters teleport, so that was the other little thing that was kind of annoying to deal with if you wanted to go for all the kills. Oh, there's a special item I need to get over here. I think I know where I should use this too. And I don't remember how many secrets are actually on this map, so... I think I'll just deal with this area. I think I'll find out what that switch does later. I'm thinking it might have to do with the... maybe the red key. Possibly red key area, I don't remember. Actually, no, I think the red key was some other area switch. Here's a secret marked by candle. I'm pretty sure this map also was inspired from Jim Flynn. Obviously his maps they were very big influence to me early on. He still has an influence on me, I say, and I just really enjoy his mapping style and ideas. Usually I feel like nowadays I try to have some interesting or creative idea for traps or otherwise, or maybe even puzzles from time to time, but I try to make it so that it's a little less archaic, or hopefully a little more clear on just how to solve the puzzles or traps or whatever else you might have. I feel like that would probably more recently be something like the... whoa. Just everybody's waiting for me. But yeah, there was a map I made for one of the Doomer Boards projects that was called Corporate Loophole, and that one had a lot of fun ideas, I felt. There were like lots of areas crossing into each other, and there was kind of like a trail of hints and things on what to do. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. I don't remember if I mentioned already, but obviously this being very, very large map, pretty sure this also took a month to make. So this and MAP19, I guess that former human was blocking. Yeah, this and MAP19 took the longest to make. I don't remember exactly when I made it though. It was possibly close to the same time. Pretty sure it was in 2010. And of course, I'm sure anyone who knows or has played my maps, they know I do really enjoy these very large adventurous, these kind of adventurous affairs, if you will. I feel over time I would like to make or focus on shorter length maps, especially seeing how there are times where I don't always have the patience to play maps that are this large, and yet I'm actually making maps that are very much like that, so it's a little bit ironic. But I guess the other part of it is usually I don't like to save too often when playing maps, and there's a good chance I might even... whoa. Yeah. Then stuff like that happens. But yeah, there are times where you're just playing maps like this and you just feel like you've been playing long enough that you don't really want to have to do anything a second time in case you happen to get killed at some point. But yeah, usually I actually tend to prefer to play maps in one shot. It's just my preferred playing style. And it's actually how I've played for a really long time, because I actually didn't know for the longest time that it was even possible to save partway through a map. I always saved at the start of the maps I was playing when I played Doom, both in the 90s and 2000s and such. But I always thought it would just let you play from the beginning of the map. I didn't know that you could actually save it at any given moment in time and just continue from there. So that's pretty much where I find my focus for playing maps in one shot. But I think over time, just kind of playing community-made maps, especially around the time I was getting into making Doom maps and such. And seeing how very large maps could be, it just kind of trained me to wanting to save more often. Or at least for the maps that are especially gigantic, like this one. That was really close. So there's quite a bit of ammunition here in case you need it. Otherwise this room doesn't serve any other purpose. And there's so many directions. It's about 8 secrets. I found 2 of them. Yeah. Over 600 monsters. I'm trying to think though, I almost wonder if there are any other ideas for this map, or any kind of influence in general. Of course these halls are a little bit tight. Kind of makes these guys really easy. And once again, just kind of repeats itself a little bit. Sometimes I do enjoy these large, sprawling maps, though. Probably said that already, but I don't mind if it's just kind of... well, if it's got the fun ideas for it, obviously. This map does have a lot of random different themes between this metal and the brown starbase or starport textures. And then, of course, this silver-looking room. I always kind of like how the steps loop back and forth, though, in this area. And how you could see into the upper floors. Good place to take out all these hit scanners. Should be another invulnerability down there. I think maybe I'll just run across. And of course just filling all these areas with monsters. So many directions to pick. Pretty sure I don't always play in this same order. This is one of the weirder secrets near this area, I think. Yeah. Sorry, couldn't see where that sergeant went. Just wanted to take some of these guys out first. But there should be a door around here. I don't know if you can hear it, but there might be a crusher sound or something. I think that's the little hint that you have, is that there's some sound here. But it's really kind of odd. It's definitely not something I should have done, really. Oh, now it's a slow crusher. Yeah, that's the other little thing about it. Yeah, I'm not really fond of how that secret was set up. It's just waiting there. Yeah, that area can be unlocked from the other side as well. I think you actually have to flip some switches or something. Okay, yeah, actually I just remembered this ambush. Oops. Yeah, a lot of silver. You press this little computer texture. I think that switch would actually open the door that I already opened, possibly. And then these would lower, and then they would teleport in as you walk over this door line. You know, this very abrupt cut in the textures. Not very pretty to look at. Definitely an old map. I think this might lower if I walk over here. There's a ton of monsters here, I'm pretty sure. And there's another secret, I think. Yeah, switch there. Might as well grab it. So, I hear something nearby. That's 5 secrets so far. So, I think I'll go back here because I know there's a key I can grab. A very slow lift. But yeah, suddenly wood. From wood to metal to silver. It's just not in the least bit consistent. But that's kind of the fun of old Doom stuff. It's almost kind of cute in a way. I think about it at least when I play other people's early maps. I definitely think about it when playing a lot of old 90s maps. There's like an old, almost nostalgic feeling to just the oddities, the 1994 mapping oddities, you might say. I know I'm going to be back here anyway, so but I might as well take those guys out. So here's the actual direction I want to be taking. It's this little ledge area here. Little corner camping. Well, not really camping, but just peeking out and shooting everything. Do I need this? No. Thinking about the fact that there's an arch vial, I think, around that corner. And I think, yeah, you have these black arrows pointing here because these doors actually have walkover line triggers. One of them opens the door to that area, another one raises these little brown textures because they're windows you can run out of. But yeah, here's the arch vial. Yeah, once again, not very effective, but now we're going into the, I think it's the yellow key area. How dare you survive that? Alright, here's the fun part. Whoops, really bad. I think I'll switch to rockets. I thought for sure there'd be at least one missile chasing me. Alrighty. And I can use that to raise the lift. I'll just grab some of those. So, yellow key. I think this is the first key you can actually get. Because I know the red key you actually need to jump down. Actually, I wonder, I forget. It might be possible to grab that key early too. I don't think I want to fire from there. Probably going to shoot myself with the rocket. I'll just grab this so. Oh. I think I want to grab a radiation suit. Yeah. So I think, well, I guess I could try going straight for it and see what happens. Yeah. Thinking you pretty much can just go here and flip the switch. Yeah. Okay, so you could either get the red key or the yellow key first, it turns out. I do like this little balcony area with the overlook. I forgot to mention actually, or even probably stop and look at it, but there was also a screenshot I took of this area where I made it so that when you flip that switch that was in the toxic pit, you could see a wall lower and it shows you this red key. I basically turned that screenshot into a texture because I wasn't really sure how to tell the player that, hey, that red key just lowered, and that's what that switch did that was in that toxic pit area. Whoops. I'll be back later. So I got the red key. I don't think I can go out there just yet. I could technically, but there is at least one other area I should solve first before going there. Let's see. Plenty of rockets and plenty of cacos to use them on. Kind of wish I could remember a little more about this map. It does seem like I should, considering this was one of the maps that took much longer to make. I think I was pretty much just having fun with it and toying around. Obviously, you could tell that probably from just all the amount of different themes going on. But once again, it just didn't really matter to me. Oh yeah, there's your next little secret. I'll save that for now. Whoops. I know there's an arch file in this one, so after flipping that switch, I think that opens this door. And now we just gotta keep this guy entertained a little bit. Keep him in his little closet. And then that switch actually lowers some red bars that were in that one area just across from the red key. Okay, so I think you walk over line here and grab a soul sphere. So just a couple more secrets about monsters. There's an area I know down here where you can grab a megasphere eventually, if you just continue on. But I think I'll save that as well. There's, whoops. Okay, yeah, there's a walkover line for that door. Really awkward space. Maybe I'll go like this. I'll just do that. So, okay, now we can go through this area. Let's make this go a little bit faster. Got cancelled out by the door. Oh yeah, that's kind of the downside of this area, is just all the enemies floating away as you shoot them. And worse yet, there's actually some hit scanners that are at a distance from over here. So take out what's left of these guys and see how we handle this. Nope. Just trying to see how auto-aim works. There's always one of these pests floating around. Let's just go for it. There's a megasphere waiting somewhere. Oh, come on. Probably could have used plasma a little more. Just a little bit more in this map. Get our blue key on this cliff and can lower this lift. And that feels pretty good. There's a switch here that reveals itself. All these goodies. I think now we can go this way. I like this little sequence with the steps, where you keep going down a little further. Yeah, I think this map definitely was a case of just kind of randomized themes here and there. And just didn't really matter to me at the time, being so new to making Doom maps. It was just the excitement of making these maps. I think that's when anybody can have the most fun. It's when you don't really care too much what other people might think. I don't need it, but I'll grab it just because it's sitting right in front of me. So there's one more secret and a handful of enemies. Pretty sure they're all revenants in the last exit area. I'm kind of curious though. I'm trying to remember. One more secret somewhere. Wonder where it could be. Oh, I already got that weird one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Of course I don't have to go for 100%, but it's just kind of fun looking around. I'm pretty sure the Soul Sphere is the only secret in that area, though I could be wrong. After all, I did forget on map 16 when I couldn't get 100% kills, there was one enemy that I forgot to kill, and it wasn't until after I finished the map that I realized it was actually a chain gunner just sitting in a solitary area. It was like an armor room that was in the starting building, and I totally forgot to check it. So sometimes I blank on things like that. Honestly, wonder where that last secret could be, though. Wonder if I should do a count again. No, it's just here. Besides all of that, though, it seems like this map went pretty well, all things considered. Don't remember if there's a way back down if I go up here, so... Oh yeah, actually... Oh yeah, this teleport opens. I think I did that for co-op players in case they get locked out. Or if something goes wrong and the lift somehow doesn't raise up. See, obviously the exit area. It's the only area I haven't explored. Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure where that last secret is. I guess it's just going to be another one of those things I'm going to remember as soon as I finish this map. I totally forgot, though. I should have mentioned this sooner, but I just remembered. The early idea I had for this map concept actually comes from this idea where I can actually link all these maps together. Well, like originally I had it so that maps 18, 19, and 20 would all kind of be one gigantic map, but it's split into 3 maps. So obviously I didn't go with that because I made fueling docks for map 18. But originally I had this idea where map 18 would be like a town kind of level, and you have to get through the town, and eventually it leads up these steps to a fortress, which could have been this fortress. So it's like map 18 would be the town that leads up to the fortress, and then that's where map 19 would start, is just going through the fortress. And then after you get through all of this, the map after that would be like the second floor of the fortress. So even though I didn't go with the idea of the town for map 18, I did go through with this giant fortress map leading up into what would be map 20, which is the second floor of this this map 19 basically. But yeah, that's Mountain Stronghold. Oops. I just noticed, looks like there were 99% kills. I guess there was one more monster I didn't finish off somewhere. But other than that, I still really like this map, even though it's definitely a mixed bag in terms of just all the texture theming, and probably the amount of grinding could have been toned down quite a bit. Probably the Berserk Pack area, for example, with all the Mancubus enemies and such. You know, there's not really a whole lot of incentive to go there other than to flip that switch, which at this time I still don't remember exactly what that does. I guess it's going to come back to me a little later. But yeah, usually I remember these maps pretty well. But anyway, that was pretty fun, and I'll see you guys in the next map. Alright, take care.